PACT. What is PACT? PACT is a testing tool that helps you write contracts and guarantees those contracts are satisfied. It's a web services simulator which can simulate the response based on predefined interaction. Interaction is a set of requests and responses, and we will see examples. Why do you want to use PACT? First is the confidence. Continuously evolve your code base, knowing that PACT will guarantee contracts are met. The second is faster. You don't need to wait to set up end-to-end environment, and no need for manual testing. The third one is less error prone. Generation and validation of contracts are automatically managed by the PACT itself. So, PACT interaction. Interaction is a definition of request and its expected responses. Write them to a JSON PACT file. A JSON PACT file containing the JSON serialized interactions, the request and responses, that were defined in customer test. This is our contract. So on the right side you can see the diagram. You can see in the first step the simulator. The consumer is running interaction with the PACT, and the same interactions are running to the provider at step 2 and verify the expectations. PACT Ginger capabilities. Our first capability is the PACT editor. We can build interaction with BDD-like language templates, which you can see in this diagram. You can compile it and see a successful or detailed error messages. Later on, you can export this JSON file to, you can export this file to a JSON file in order to load it to your server and run interactions to it. And you can export to Java file. This is an example of the BDD-like language. Here you can see the request part. We are defining the request and the response. Another capability which we have is the PACT actions. You can start a server for launching a virtual PACT server. Then you can load interactions. For loading interaction from the JSON file we are exporting from our editor. You can clear interactions for clearing the loaded interactions from the server. And then at the end you can stop the server. So let's see how it's been done. Alright, so in order to use the PACT plugin, first we need to download the plugin. You can download it from the Ginger site under Downloads, Plugins. Here you have the package. It contains everything you need inside. And what you need to do from the Ginger part is go right click on Plugins, add embedded plugin, and then select your downloaded folder. And here it is. We can see the plugin actions which it contains. Later on we will use it. And the editor. Now what we want to do is to create a new PACT document. So if you loaded the plugin, you'll have another option here for creating and importing a PACT document. I will start with the create. Name it. And here you can see the PACT template. This is our interaction, and it's ready to fill it in. So we can start fill it in. Let's say the given is I have a server has add this as database. And upon receiving a request for validation, the method which I want to run is get method. The path would be the addresses, and here I can also enter my headers, and this is the response part. So the status which I expecting to have is okay. This is 200 status. We just make it easier by saying I will get an okay status instead of using the numbers. And I can also make the address which I want to get with everything or every detail inside the street Jerusalem, for example. Also, we have this this editor has some nice capabilities like folding and data completion of the saved word. It also has an interface to update the tables here. Now let's say you have already the PACT file and you want to import it to Ginger. I prepared a PACT file in advance with 5 interactions, so I will select the import option and I will select my PACT file. This is a preview. I will click on import and I see the file imported successfully. And what we have here, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 interactions, and each one of them contains all details inside, and the way to verify it is by clicking this compiler. I see that the compilation passed successfully. It means everything in my file is perfect. But if, let's say, I forgot to add a method here and maybe the status line, and I click compile again, I will get the error numbers and what exactly I need to do. Now I will retrieve it back and I will compile again. So that means everything is set. The next thing I want to show you is the export to JSON. So if I click on it and select the path folder, see that the JSON exported successfully for me and it's automatically getting open. Yes?
One question. Can I edit, can I do a modify header with that? A page modify header?
Modify header means?
Yes. To change the headers that Explorer that Chrome send to the server?
No, you can define your interaction. Let's say you have a server on Chrome, and the server has interactions, capabilities. Here you are defining what type of request you want to send to the server. You want it to include headers, so you are defining the headers here. And then when you are loading
headers to it, does it add the headers to existing transactions, or does it open a new transaction to the server? This is the question.
You configure
it's adding the headers for configuring the interactions to your server simulator. So if you want to simulate your server on Chrome, so you can raise a PACT server from here, like we will see soon.
Can we take it afterwards? Because I think it may give us a solution to some problems that you have within digital.
All right. Yeah, no problem.
Okay.
Okay.
So we will set a meeting afterwards. So we'll stay on the meeting afterwards.
Sure. Okay. So I exported the JSON file, and just let's take a look at this. This is my interactions.
Please mute yourself.
I am already muted.
So, all the rest is okay. Don't know if it's from Eliran. Yeah. Continue, Eliran, please.
It's not for my end, so.
So guys, please mute. There is some noise. Okay, I'll mute everyone just a second.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right.
Continue.
Okay, so this is our JSON file. It contains all the interactions we added here with the BDD-like language, just with the JSON format, the format that the PACT know how to read. So, for example, this interaction is here. The method is get, the path is the address 1. It doesn't contain any address definition, neither a body, and the status is 200. It's okay status. And on the body, we can see the address we should get if we'll run this interaction with the PACT server. So next thing I want to show you is how to start the server and run the interaction on it. So let's switch to Automate tab. If you loaded the plugin and you click on Add Action, you will get the Add Action screen with another tab, which is the plugin actions. I will add one Start mock server action. Here I need to configure the port. I will leave it as the default port for now. And the next one is load interactions from a JSON file. And here I will select the JSON file we just exported from my editor. The next action I want to add is to clear server interactions. And the last one is the stop mock server. Those two last actions doesn't contain any special configurations. And now let's start to run it. If I click here, I can see the action is passed, means the mock server started at this location. Now I will load the interactions to it. This is also passed, means the interactions loaded successfully to the server. Now I can fire my request to this PACT server. Let's see how it's being done from the Ginger. I will use the regular REST action that we have here. And I will configure the URL as the URL we raised the PACT. The localhost with the port, and the address 1 is the path of the first interaction. Let's see which interaction we are trying to configure here. We will select this interaction. So the path is address 1. It doesn't contain any address definition and nor a body. So let's see. So the method is get. This is the path, the address is empty, as well as the body. Let's run this interaction, and I can see that it passed. Now the question is, where is the response? So the response is populated to the output values, and here we can see the response with the address, and the address I configured under my document in the response interaction. Let's take another example. Now I want to run this interaction. So the method will be get as well. The path will be address 2. And then I can see another header which I need to configure here. This is the details type as long. So let's add another action. And I will place the URL again. Address 2 path. And on the headers, let's take exactly how it's written here. Details type. So on the headers, I will add the header that I configured under my interaction. And that's all. Let's run it. It passed. And on my output values, I can see the long address here. Now, if I'll modify this header and put something else, I just want you to see that if the server doesn't have this definition of an interaction that should get as a request detail types AAA, the action will fail. And the reason is there is no interaction found for get address 2 with such an header. That's why it failed. I will modify too long again. Alright, after I finish firing my interactions, I can clear them. Okay, before I'm stopping it, let me show you one more thing. Now I cleared all my interactions on the server. If I'll run any of the actions, it will fail also because the server is empty from interaction. It doesn't contain any definition. And the last thing I'm going to do is to stop the mock server. After you're finishing developing your activity, you don't need to run it one by one. You can run the whole activity. It will run the server, load the interactions, fire your REST actions, and stop it eventually. So that would be all for my side.